NFL Week 1 is 3 weeks away. I can't wait for Dolphins football to really be here as they travel to Indianapolis to play the Colts in the season opener. If you are fired up, if you are ready for real Dolphins football to be back, and show me that you're with me by hitting that thumbs up icon. I am Nick Roloff. This is Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. And, well, we're going to have a little bit of a negative video here because there is a major issue with this Dolphins football team that was only exposed to a higher degree following back-to-back joint practices with the Detroit Lions. You might be asking what that problem is, or you might already know what the problem is. But if you are not aware, I will enlighten you. It is this Dolphins secondary. It has been a concern of mine the entire offseason following the Jalen Ramsey trade, the Kader Kohou injury, letting Kendall Fuller go, and not really making any additions. We didn't see a priority in the draft. The first drafted secondary member was in the 5th round. We didn't really see anyone signed as a free agent at the cornerback spot. And we just saw that the Lions and Jared Goff dominated us. I mean, it looked like it was varsity versus JV. Now, Miami's defense did respond with a solid second joint practice on Thursday, but Wednesday's was so bad, it was hard to even stay positive throughout the night and the hours after the practice on Thursday afternoon. Like Amon-Ra St. Jameson Williams were just able to get open. It felt anytime they wanted to, whether it was 1v1s, 7v7s, or 11 on 11. And I just don't think many Dolphins fans are going to argue with me on this one. When you look at what Miami has at corner now, it's ugly, man. There's just no other way to say it. Storm Duck has had a pretty solid start to his training camp / preseason. But Kendall Sheffield's your CB2. Are we serious? Mike Hilton is a solid nickel replacement for Kader Kohou after the injury. And obviously, Miami can't control the Kader Kohou injury. But that was just a absolute blow to this roster. And your backups and second-line corners are Jack Jones and Ethan Bonner. Although Jones has had a relatively solid camp, he got exposed on Wednesday trying to defend Amon-Ra St. at a high level. The point is, this group just simply can't cut it for the entire football season. I don't know if there is plan to change that. I don't know if Chris Grier is going to go out and sign a corner. I certainly hope they do, which we'll talk about here in just a second. But Miami has to go up against a lot of elite wide receivers this season. You got to go up against Stephon Diggs twice. Got to go up against Garrett Wilson twice. You're going to have to play T. Higgins and Jamar Chase in one game. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in one game. You also can't forget about their rookie Emeka Egbuka, who looks really solid. There are just so many elite wide receivers that you have to play this year. And I know every team goes up against elite wide receivers. But Miami also has a bottom 3 cornerback room in the entire National Football League. And with how solid the rest of this defense is, I just would hate to see this cornerback room hold not only the defense back this season, but hold the entire Dolphins team as a whole back, considering that this offense looks like it could potentially be one that leads a team to a playoffs with an above-average defense. So before we continue more with the conversation, what is your confidence level in the Dolphins CB room? Scale it for me down in the comments section 1 through 10. No rookie scores. You can give me some decimals, pin comment on today's show. I want to see what the real ones have to say. Well, my answer, it's a 3.7. That is pretty low. I would be curious to see where I rank amongst you guys. I'll be certainly looking in the comments, so let me know your actual thoughts. But when I'm thinking about that cornerback room that we just showed, the only player that I have any confidence in terms of being an effective player in this Dolphins secondary, it's Storm Duck. And I was critical of the Dolphins having Storm Duck as one of their starting corners coming into training camp. I still remain with that sentiment, but Duck has proved to me, through a degree at least, that I can count on him making the right play. He is always playing in phase. He is always playing with the right technique. He keeps everything in front of him. You will rarely see him get beat over the top for a big gain, and he's just giving out competitive reps consistently, and he's held his own for the most part. He's been beaten more times than not, but he's also going up against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, 2 top 20 wide receivers in the NFL. But everybody else, no, I don't have confidence in those guys. I do feel solid about Duck at least being CB1 or CB2 at this point. The only confidence I have in the secondary as a whole is actually in the safety room. And it was not always that way. I tried to get optimistic for this group when it was just Ashton Davis and Ifeatu Melifonwu after free agency. But once you brought in Minkah Fitzpatrick in return for the Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith trade, I felt really good about it. And after seeing how they've performed so far in the joint practices with the Bears and Lions, as well as in their own training camp against the Dolphins offense, I do feel relatively solid about these guys, specifically Minkah Fitzpatrick. There's been a lot of talk about if he's lost a step and how he had a down year in Pittsburgh last year. Is this still going to be the same old Minkah that we know? I don't know, but I'll say this. In training camp, he has looked absolutely terrific to this point. He looks like he can play the run. He can defend the pass. Ifeatu Melifonwu has gotten better with every single practice as he has returned from the non-football injury list. Bummer that Ashton Davis got hurt, but Elijah Campbell has been solid as the safety number 3. So I am very confident in the safety room. Can they masquerade the stench of the cornerback room? Probably not, but I do feel solid about those two in the back end as well as the depth there with McMorris, Elijah Campbell, and Dante Trader Jr. More to come here, but make sure you subscribe and make sure you join us because we will be live tomorrow afternoon for Dolphins versus Lions preseason week 2. If you are subscribed, make sure you join us. If you are not, subscribe and join us. We're going to be live 1 hour before the game. So we'll be live at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central Time. This is our thumbnail, so if you see it, click on it and join us for the live show. All right, when you think about this cornerback room, do I think it happens at this point? No, probably not. But I still am kind of pounding the table and trying to say that Miami should absolutely be trying to sign a corner, whether it's Stephon Gilmore or Asante Samuel Jr. Feels at this point they're not going to, but I think they should. And when I think about Stephon Gilmore still being available, you look at what he did last season for the Vikings and the year prior for the Dallas Cowboys, and you just have to feel like he could come in, contribute, and be a better corner on the outside than you currently have. Like, has he lost a step? Absolutely. There's no defending it. But he had better numbers last year than a guy like Rasul Douglas. We know that he's a former Defensive Player of the Year. He would be a great mentor to some of your young guys on this depth chart, like Jason Marshall Jr. and Storm Duck. The point is, he provides stability, whether it is on the field with his play or in the locker room as a leader. You don't have to question if this guy will come into work every week with the best type of leadership presence and the right work ethic. He will be there. He will be on time. He will lead you and play decent on the field. So I would be very much on board with grabbing Stephon Gilmore in NFL free agency. Now, I've talked very highly about Asante Samuel Jr., who I got a little tongue twisted there for a second, because this is the most talented cornerback still on the open market. The issue is he is not medically cleared to this point. We know that he had neck and shoulder surgery in April. It was not clear when he was going to be cleared. Jeremy Fowler said it would happen in mid to late July. Well, let me check the watch. Oh, it's August 15th, and there still has not been a report that he's medically cleared. So that's probably why he is not signed at this point. But if he ever did get cleared, I would certainly be on board for signing him right away. When you talk about Rasul Douglas, another player that has been heavily linked to Miami, I think he is out of the equation at this point. One, I think he's the worst corner out of the other three that we've talked about, Douglas, Samuel Jr., and Gilmore. Two, he has declined multiple contract offers for Miami, one back in May and one about 3 weeks ago, 2 days before Miami signed Jack Jones and Mike Hilton. So if he doesn't want to be here, he doesn't want to be here. I'm done chasing a corner that is 30 years old in just a bunch of mid at best. rounding out the show here, but take advantage of this Dolphins hoodie sale. $32 off when you go to chatsports.com/MIA hoodie. Was $69, now available for $37. Links in the description and comments of today's video. Sizes are running out. Just simply don't know how much longer this will be in stock on sale, so grab yours now before they are away. My concern is, and I alluded to it a little bit earlier in this episode, but if the Dolphins defense struggles, if the team as a whole can't consistently put good performances and wins together, it's likely going to be because these cornerbacks are going to be a liability. Everything else on this defense is very, very solid. You look at your defensive line, Zach Sealer, Kenneth Grant, Benito Jones, solid interior group. Your edges, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Chop Robinson. You have a couple good depth pieces. Linebackers are elite with Tyrell Dodson, Jordan Brooks, KJ Britt, Willie Gay Jr., the safety room we already talked about. Like, the corners are just going to be the part that holds this defense back, unfortunately. And I've shown this graphic before. This is my cornerback projection for Miami. Like, I think Duck, Hilton, Sheffield, Jones, Marshall Jr., and Bonner all make this 53-man roster. I do have Cam Smith being cut. I just don't think he has done enough with his injury history, his poor play on the football field to make this roster. Like, we'll see if anything changes with Cam Smith. We'll also see if anything changes in terms of Miami signing a cornerback. I just don't know how Chris Grier can sit here with a straight face and believe that this cornerback room will be fine during the regular season over the course of an 18-week year and 17-game season. Like, you have $11 million plus in cap space. Why not go use it by signing one of these veterans to a $4 or $5 million contract? I just don't see the harm in that. You still would have some space available, but you would drastically improve the floor of this cornerback room. Is the ceiling going to get that much higher? No, it's still probably going to be at best below league average, but it probably raises your floor if you add a Stephon Gilmore from from what could be the worst cornerback room to probably at worst bottom five. Like, to me, that is worth the investment of $4 or $5 million in cap space this year. If the Dolphins do make a move at corner, we will have you covered with a video like we have videos every single day. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you join us as well for our watch party Saturday afternoon. It's going to be a lot of fun to see preseason week 2 action between Dolphins and Lions.